Welcome to the first installment of Artists Who Love the Knicks. It's
Mhm.
artists as in musicians. It could be artists, could be actors, could be actresses. But for
Could be,
now, it's
yeah,
musicians.
yeah. It could be chefs. It could even be con artists.
Yeah, I should have known. I should have known you had an angle. Well, you are from New
No,
York,
all
so that is
yeah,
possible.
right. All artists are included. That's the point. Mhm.
Con
Oh,
artists.
I did look up the definition of artists, and there are a number of them, and the one that really stuck out to me seriously was a person who is skilled at a task or a occupation.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah,
That would be us.
so that would be us. I hope we're skilled. Yeah, right. Yeah,
My name
right.
is Bob
So,
Baldwin. This is Porter
yeah,
Carroll, my co-host. What's up, brother?
yeah, man. How you doing, man? Good to see you, B.
Brother, we'll still here. We'll still here, man, on the other side of COVID. Thank God.
Lord,
I don't
yeah.
know if we still got our wits, but nonetheless,
we'll we'll find out.
you will find out in the next 20 minutes.
We'll we'll find out. Yeah, yeah.
First
Well,
of
cool.
all, I've known you almost 40 years, brother. Believe it or not, we met in 1984 and we reconnected. I was working part time at MCI and you were just starting at MCI.
That's right. That's
I
right.
got your number on the elevator. I was getting off the elevator. I was like, Porter Carroll?
What is he doing here?
What the hell are you doing here?
Yeah, right. I would say the same thing. You know, that's a funny
that was
story,
uh
man.
that was the beginning of a very cool writing relationship with you, brother. And I had learned a lot of great things with you, man.
Oh man, it was a great time, hard times and great times.
Yes,
I
sir.
love what we produced out of that whole time period. It was a
Yeah,
real what I mean. Today they call it reinventing. For
that's
me,
right.
I come out of Atlantic Star. I made this choice to go out and become a songwriter, and with that, I had to go into this place. But I'll tell you, I went to MCI because I could make free phone calls to the West Coast. That's what it was all about.
Well,
I mean,
it was a phone company, so why not?
it was a phone company, and I made many, and I wound up, using those phones, and I ultimately got the deal at CBS
It served its
running.
purpose.
It served its purpose. Took about
So
took
that's
about
why they went
about,
out of
about
business.
exactly.
Now I
Took
know.
about 8 months. Took about 8 months to pull it off. But
Well,
yeah,
I got a phone. I got a funny phone story. I was doing collections at Sprint, and guess who came up on my
no, don't say it.
a very famous artist.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. Oh man,
got his
don't
phone
say it.
number. I got his phone number. We talked for about
Get
45
out of
minutes, right?
here.
We talked music.
Yeah.
We just kicked a piano player. And
Wow,
then I
man.
had to shift the conversation to this $4,000.
Oh God,
You know, he cussed
no.
me out and hung up on me.
I'm sure he did.
So when he came up on the log again,
Yeah.
I just wrote it off, man. I got rid of this thing, man. I was like, let me get this thing out of here. I don't want to see it ever again.
Oh man, that's
It's nothing
crazy.
like having this vision of this cat that you just think is just cat,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah. But people go through stuff, man. We all go
woo.
through something, right?
Anyways,
But yeah, so those are the days, and we wrote a lot of songs,
yes, sir.
and yeah, it was good stuff.
But in
Good
between
stuff.
writing, what were we doing? The TV was always on.
Oh my God, the New York
The
Knickerbockers.
New York Knicks going back to 1984, brother. Don't
Ooh,
let Larry
man.
Bird beat us, Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, Michael Jordan. Uh,
Everybody was taking us out.
oh,
What?
God.
Oh, no, but that was the track. That was right when Bernard got hurt.
Yes, that was in
Bernard
84,
got
right? It's right
hurt,
before Ewing came in, right?
right? That because Ewing came in '85. I remember where I was. I remember man, I had Mother's Day dinner with my mother-in-law and my wife in White Plains at Bloomingdale's, and I came home, and my brother-in-law said, "We got him," and I said, "What?" He said, "We got Patrick." And man, I remember running around his yard like an idiot.
When I was working as Fred, I used to see him at the hot dog truck,
Really?
just wolfing down hot dogs. I was like, this boy ain't gonna make it. What the heck? Patrick Ewing eating hot dogs,
Eating
like
hot dog?
10, 15 of
Really?
just ramming them down.
Oh man, yeah, that's right. Because the facility was right down the street from
That's right,
from
Manhattanville
Sprint,
College.
Manhattanville. Yeah,
Purchase.
Manhattanville. Then they went over Purchase. Yeah,
Yep, yep,
and
yep.
Sprint was right down the road.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
No,
or
and
MCI at the time.
they're in Tarrytown now, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. They got the new facility over there. So I mean, we run into guys all the time. So not only did we love the Knicks, we
Right,
would see them around town, in
right,
White Plains
right.
and surrounding areas. So that added to it. I can remember. Yeah, you'd see the guys all the time. I remember trying Trevor Ariza and all those guys. They all lived right in downtown White Plains. I'd see them all the time.
Nice.
So but man, I can remember seeing the first time seeing the Knicks. You remember the first time you ever saw them?
Man, I was like, this is when they won the first championship. So I was just getting into it that year. I was like 8 years old.
Right. Oh man, did you
Black
ever
and
you
white
go to?
TV in the living room.
Oh
My
yeah,
dad had a
all of that.
huge and it was
Yeah,
champ and Jabbar and oh by the way, my cousin Larry Willis, piano player.
yeah.
He also
That's yeah,
used to
yeah,
work
yeah,
with he started the group Blood, Sweat and Tears.
yeah, yeah.
He went to high school with Jabbar.
Oh, he
He
went to
went to
Powell Memorial.
high school. Yeah, man.
Oh, okay.
And
All
so
right.
he used to tell me about this skinny cat, man, from going to UCLA. He used to tell me
Uh,
about Jabbar way back in the day. Blue House Center at the time.
Wait, yeah, well, Sunday.
Yeah,
Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah,
yeah. So
they
that was the first year. Of course, Clyde was with his pork chop sideburns and
yeah, he was the man. He was the man,
he
with the
still is,
Rolls
man.
Royces. Yeah, he's still a man, right? I remember when, well, my father was a big basketball fan too, and our favorite basketball player to this day is Earl Monroe
Oh yeah.
when he was with the Bullets, and it was rough because we loved him, and he had North Carolina connection, and my father was from North
Winston-Salem,
Carolina as
right?
well. Winston-Salem, and then the whole Philadelphia thing. My wife's, so, has family in Philly. So there's I was later on, but still, it was Earl Monroe. And I remember when they said you'd have to have two basketballs for the two of them, for Earl and Walt to play together and all of that. We've heard all those stories. And, but the big thing was, and this was something I said I got to bring up, is when the Knicks made the big deal for Dave DeBusschere
Yep, 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 yep,
and
yep,
everything changed. Everything
yep.
changed. And I was going to ask you this question: would if we bring that up to today, would that deal be the Jalen Brunson deal or the Josh Hart deal? Could you compare? Which one would you compare to
Great
David
question.
Busher?
Um,
Was it a combination of the two?
I kind of see Josh Hart as the East Coast version of Draymond Green without all the drama,
Right. Hmm.
with a jump shot.
Absolutely.
The guy is
Absolutely.
like he's got like arms all over the place, man. He's a
It-
great
it- it-
rebounder.
man, I think is he the best rebounding guard in the league?
Top three or four. But
Yeah, it's
I
top,
think
right?
that was he's like nine. They say he's like 20-9 since he joined the Knicks.
Yeah, yeah.
Came in with a
It's
9 game
just
win streak.
yeah. So would that be like? Because I remember when David Busher was
Yeah,
traded, and
he
the
could
thing
be the
was,
modern day DeBush.
you know what I mean? Or would it be Jalen Brunson? Because I remember Jalen when he came in. Okay, I was like everybody else. It's like I knew he was nice. I saw him in the playoffs last year. With Dallas, and he was killing them. I remember from Villanova, but it's like, is he really $100 million man? I didn't know, but day one, I mean, the first play of the year, he's got the ball, boom, laid it in. I was like, oh man, this guy has no fear of New York, the whole bit. He's like perfect. And the whole season started to turn, but they were still like struggling.
Yeah, you're right.
And then
You're right.
when then Tibbs made he reduced the lineup.
Right.
You know, and mind you, for anybody who ever listens to this, I don't profess to be an expert. I'm just a fan,
That's right.
a
No, me
man on
neither.
steroids, right? But I know he took it down to a 8 or 9 man rotation
Mhm.
right around Christmas time.
Game changer.
A game changer, right? So it was Jalen, then the adjustment from Tibbs around Christmas, and then Josh came, and then it was all just ooh,
Do you think?
man.
Do you think Jalen is the best point guard since Clyde?
You know, that's I'm a great question. I have to say yes. And I'll tell you why. I love Mark Jackson. I love Rod Strickland. That was
Mm,
my man. But I
nice.
think Jalen shoots better than all of them. And he has just as much command over the floor as those guys do. But I don't think Jalen passes as well as, definitely doesn't pass as well as Mark.
No, no. Mark was one of the best passers of the Knicks,
Right.
hands down.
Right. But is it that Jalen won't pass or that he can't pass?
Good point.
Because
Good
Jalen likes
point.
to put it up,
Yep.
right?
He doesn't have much of a vertical. His game is not vertical, but his footwork is amazing.
You know, his footwork reminds me of, man. I remember before Larry Johnson came to the Knicks, and I saw him one night, me and Rick Galway, another artist,
Shout out to Rick.
percussionist, right, from Change, and Michael Urbaniak, and our dear friend. And we went down and we sat underneath the basket to see when he was grandmama, right? And
Right.
when he was with Charlotte.
Okay.
And I had never seen anybody clear out. He was only about 6'4",
Mm-hmm.
but he's playing power forward. And
Yep.
I had never seen anybody clear out space like he did through footwork. And
Yes,
that's
sir.
what Jalen's footwork reminds me of.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I was like, man, it's unbelievable what this guy can do, man. You know,
Now, if we can
um,
get Jalen's footwork on Mitch Robinson, we would have a lot. Now, come on, man.
oh, absolutely. Well, so we got to send him to Houston. We got
We
to send
need.
him down to Houston. You know, everybody goes to Olajuwon's school down there.
Yeah.
Everybody, even Kobe went
He,
down there.
he needs to go down there for about 3 months, man, and get them dance steps. He need to
He
get his
does.
dance card, bro.
He does, man.
I mean,
Right?
because he's every bit as good as Rodman as far as a rebound, but if he gets that footwork together, he's
Yeah.
all star all day long, bro.
Yeah, he is. He's right on the cusp. I
Yeah.
think he's right on the cusp, man. You know, hey, man, one thing I got to do is we're talking about with two artists that are coming here talking about this. So, what are you up to these days? So, if anybody tuned in, they say, well, what kind of artists are these guys? Who they play with? What's their thing? I think we better square that
We,
away.
we better address that.
Otherwise, I'm just one old dude talking to a little younger guy. We better put that up in the show somewhere. You know.
Man, don't be putting me on the spot like that, man.
Yeah, man, what you up to?
Well, just as you know, I
Quick resume.
try to drop those records once a year. I've been called the Ray Charles of contemporary jazz because I try to own my music.
There it is, man. You've
Um,
been on top of that.
man, I've been listen. When I got my first contract with Atlantic Jazz and saw the first royalty check, I was like, "Oh no, this accounting is totally busted." And I did go to accounting school, so it's like, nah, y'all ain't
That's
for
right. That's right.
two
That's right.
sets of books. I got hip to that real quick.
Real
I
quick.
was like, no,
Yep.
we need to go a different path because if not, I'm gonna be like, all those deals are front loaded, as you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Oh, I
But
know all about it.
something on the back end, you'd be out in the street somewhere selling alcohol.
Absolutely. There you go. Working MCI, stuff like that. You know.
So yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man. How
Um,
many albums do you have out now?
I think it's up to 34, brother.
34.
Yeah, yeah. I just did a keyboard record with Phil Davis and Gail Johnson. We did like a trio keyboard record. We all do programming and writing and stuff. It's called The Three Keys. It just came out
Wow,
earlier
man.
this year. So it was a lot of fun, man.
Wow, man.
And you know,
That's
and you
cool.
know, my early sequencing days go back to Minot Records. Minot Studios.
My studios in White Plains. Yeah.
And guess who gave me the first program?
What Textures I know it was, right?
Right, Texture. It was Wayne
Who
Warnick through Bob James.
flew Bob James? Well, we
So
used to see Bob James every day, right?
like it was
Every
nothing.
day.
Like it
It
was
was like
nothing.
nothing, yeah. Oh wow.
Him and Michael
Textures.
Kalina and of course Marcus Miller there and Lenny White.
Yeah, right, right. And the late Bernard Wright,
That's
you
right.
know,
Right.
man.
Singing Kentucky Fried Chicken commercials.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. Whitney would come in there, Madonna would come in there, everybody would come into that place. But Luther was always in there. Luther
That's right.
did so many
That's
records
right.
in there. And you know, it's funny because when I was with Atlantic Star, I remember trying to convince our producer James Carmichael, who was, he did all the Commodores and all Lionel Richie stuff. We had to convince him to come to White Plains. Now mind you, these guys, they were Beverly Hills. That was all
So
this stuff.
Carmichael came to Minot?
Yes, convince him to come. And when he came in, he said, "Man, this place is too good to be true. It sounded too good." He was nervous because it was just it sounded great in there. So
And
he was
Ray was
nervous that
engineering those records?
no, Ray did not. No, Cal Harris came, the legendary Cal Harris, who
Okay.
did all. He did all. He was an exclusive Motown engineer. He did Marvin Gaye, did Diana Ross, he did everybody on Motown, Temptations, all that stuff. And so the two of them would come to White Plains and did three albums in White Plains.
Yeah.
And then they go right back out and work with Richie. In between, we'd have to wait for Richie to finish
Right.
and he'd come here and work with us.
That's
That was
amazing.
sort of unprecedented. Yeah.
Is
So,
he still alive?
that was yeah, everybody's
Okay.
still alive. I haven't talked to anybody for a while, but still alive. But that was a big deal to get them to come here, and those Atlantic Star records. So they all, were top 10 records, and
Yeah. It sounded
yeah.
great.
So yeah, they were great.
You recorded your
So
drums there?
yeah.
Nice.
I did drums there, and we would do the Radiant album. We did most of it at Sigma in New York, right
Okay.
over, at Sullivan Theater at the time. That's where it was. And now it's Colbert, where Colbert does his stuff. We used to work out of Sigma, and then we started coming up to White Plains because we all were living in Westchester.
Of course.
And so that was a little bit of a tug of war to get him up here. But once he got up here and he found out where the food was, Jim Dick's in Mount Vernon, once he found out where that restaurant was, he
That
was
was it,
good to
huh?
go. Yeah. So yeah, so all that was great, man, to do that. But again, he was a big football guy. But Tom Samillo at
Hmm.
Minot was a huge Knick fan.
It was Tom was the owner, right?
The owner.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was huge, man. We come in there and talk about the Knicks. I mean, he was like we are, man. He was passionate, man. See, you were still too young.
Yeah.
He would come in, and Lenny White would talk about the Knicks. That was his thing. But Jason
That's
Miles,
because Dr. J was it, man.
he was it, right? But Jason Miles, who was working with Luther at the time, right? And, keyboard guru guy,
Right.
sound guru. He
Shout out
used to
J.
come in there. He would work with Luther all the time, and we would talk. He loved the Knicks. Matter
Right.
of fact, he used to get tickets from Wayman Tisdale. When Wayman would come into town, he would,
Wow.
when Wayman would come in, and we go down and check him out, man, and with Marcus, the whole bit, man, and go to the Garden and check out the Knicks, man. So it was like, yeah, oh yeah, by the way, there's some music, but let's talk about the Knicks. So
Yeah.
that's where all this stuff kind of comes from. I just want to roll that in.
So
You
is
know.
that pre Ewing or during the Ewing era?
No, this is during Ewing, man. Or I mean, Wayman would get us tickets like 2 or 3 rows behind the Knicks, man.
Oh man.
It was unbelievable, man. Hear Pat yelling out stuff, everybody going crazy. I remember when John Stark first came, and man, you could see he wasn't getting that much run, but you could see he was pressing to get run, man. He was like right in Riley's face, like,
Very
I'm
hyper.
here, I'm
Very
here.
hyper.
It's so, man, he was into it, and then he became John Starks, But seeing that stuff emerge, I remember we were coming out of the Garden one night with Wayman, and he said something, God rest his soul. He said, Patrick Ewing is as strong as cow piss. I said, whoa, what is that?
Yeah, that's
And he was from Oklahoma, so he knew about farming. He knows how strong Cal Ewing could be. He just said, man, Ewing was so strong, man. It was unbelievable to play
yeah.
against this cat, man. You know, so
And it's a
so this
shame
is.
as we talk about Ewing, it's a shame how they traded him for a couple pool sticks and
Oh, I
sent him
know, man.
out. So
Yeah,
so heartbroken by
yeah,
that. That guy brought
yeah.
in as much to the Garden, man. He sold that place out damn near 15
Hmm.
years straight,
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
they could do to satisfy him was to ship him to Seattle. I mean,
yeah.
to me that was the Ewing curse. That's when that thing really kicked in, man.
Well, yeah. I think the Knick curse was that Bernard never got to play with Patrick.
Yeah, yeah, that was a
That never
classic.
happened. That I mean, come on. I think it would have changed Patrick's game. Patrick would have played more like he did at Georgetown
Yep, 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 yep.
because Bernard was back to the basket, low post,
Bernard had a
and
sweet
Patrick
game.
might have. Oh God, man, if the two of them could have played together, what would have happened then? I always think that's one of the tragedies of the New York Knicks. Is that the
Yeah,
two of them didn't do it, didn't do that, and,
yeah.
and then they got rid of Bernard the same way. You just got
Yes.
rid of him,
Yep.
and when he rehabbed, it was unbelievable how he rehabbed himself back into being an All Star.
He came back to
But he was doing it
Denver,
for
right?
came back to Washington. He went
Washington.
to Washington.
Yeah. Did really
Yeah,
well.
yeah, you know.
He had a sweet game, man.
So man,
Sweet
he
game.
was unbelievable, man. And to hear him talk about his game was unbelievable, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just the
Yeah.
way he looked at how the court was and all. It was like some Matrix kind of stuff.
There you go.
So,
There you
but
go.
anyway,
So
but yeah, so
fast
we
forward
just,
into now, man.
yeah.
You think they have a chance against the Pat Riley Heat?
Okay, what do they call now? This whole thing is him. They call him, was it Himmy Butler? And I heard Emmanuel quickly. If
Yeah.
you have a great game, you're him,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
So it was interesting, man, because Butler and Josh, they match up well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if they can just kind of,
Just
yeah, gonna
contain
stop
him.
him, just contain him, we should do all right. What do
We
you
definitely
think,
play
man?
better defense than Milwaukee. Milwaukee just let him just have his day.
Man, I sad to say I didn't see enough of that series, man. I just came in on the tail end of everything. What was that like? I mean,
Well, I saw the last two games. First of all, the last two games, Butler, he knocked them out for 58 points. He was just destroying them on the inside. Fourth quarter, he
man,
was just like a madman. And then the last game, they went to overtime. Prior to overtime, they were down by two, Miami, and
yeah.
they allowed the ball under the basket with like 3 seconds left. And he pushed Connaughton off, and did this tap up underneath the rim, man.
Oh, I saw, yeah, I've seen the clips of that. Yeah, that was
And
unbelievable.
he was like in the audience, like, I can't hear y'all. He's an instigator,
Yeah,
man. He's an
yeah. And
instigator.
I saw him do something to Drew Holiday. He said, yeah, and I did it on you, or
Oh
something
yeah,
like that. I was like,
he looked right at
whoa,
him. Looked right at him.
whoa, Jimmy. Yeah,
It was
man.
all in his mug. Oh,
Wow,
he
crazy.
yeah,
It's,
he's a great player. I mean, when he turns it on,
oh,
he's
oh.
unstoppable.
Somebody said, man, he's up in the Jordan level when he turns it on.
Oh
And
no,
I was like,
yeah,
whoa, that's a stretch.
he is.
But yeah,
Playoff time.
it's
Oh,
it's up
fourth
there.
quarter,
Yeah, yeah,
unstoppable. But like you said,
yeah,
if we shut him down and put a lid on what's the cat in the middle out of bio? Bam.
yeah. Bam.
Yep. He's got a long.
Yeah, now Bam could pull Mitch out of the low post a little bit.
Yep.
That scares me a little bit
Sure.
with Bam, because he has an outside, he has a mid-range game, not an outside game, but a
Right.
mid-range game. So I get a little concerned with Mitch over that. But the
Mhm.
rebounding thing, we should do great, man. Oh, Hardenstein, man, along with Mitch, those dudes, man.
That's 48 minutes of rebounding, boy.
Yeah, with Josh, it's like, man,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Josh has a
it's
great,
crazy.
he gets the ball, he kicks it out, man. He's ready to go.
Yeah, you know.
So do you think
So I, hmm?
you think Randall being out, you think it's gonna hurt the Knicks? I know their pace is like almost double when he's out. I hate to
And
say it.
I know I'm gonna, man, I'm gonna have to preface some of what I'm gonna say, okay? Because and I'm preface it by saying, coming out of college, out of Kentucky, I was a big Julius Randle fan. I just knew. I said, this guy is gonna be a great pro. And man, I didn't see much of him when he got to LA. I was surprised when they got rid of him and he went down to the Pelicans. I really didn't hear anything at all. Just no connection, or
Right.
very little connection with New Orleans. And then when he came to New York, I was like, oh, okay, what's going on here? All right, let's see what's going on. And then he just started handling the ball more. And I was like, what is this about? It was almost like he was trying. I don't know if this is right or not. Like he was trying to become LeBron.
Mm.
They're about the same size.
Are you talking about the
And I
first year
was like,
against
"What?"
the Knicks?
Yeah. I said,
And
"What?" It's like
he
his
had that
game.
spin to the right that was killing me. I was like,
It was right.
right to the
Three,
blender.
four, right into the blender, man. 3 or 4 times a game. And it's like, okay, it happened once or twice, but he kept doing it, kept doing it. It went on, right? Another year. I was like, man, it's happened up until Jalen came.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is it got to the point where Julius got to be hard to watch, man.
Yeah, man.
It's just hard to watch, and it was breaking my heart because I like the guy and I love his family.
Hmm.
It's not personal at all. It's
Hmm.
just where he went. He calls it his mental.
Yeah.
Where he went mentally, and it looks like some of the emotional things that are going on have me concerned.
Right. Right.
Thank God Jalen came in and calmed things down.
Jalen is cool, calm, and
So
collected.
totally. And then it seems like when Josh came with Jalen, it allowed Obi to
Yeah.
be Obi.
Yeah.
And now I really like to watch them all together, man. I love when with quickly all. It's like I said, what are they trying to be, the little Lakers or something here? What's going on around here? Like with Magic, it was like there's a flow to the game that I love to see with these Knicks.
Quickly
I don't.
he has a pure little kid spirit. He cracks me up.
Yeah, oh, I mean, running around the floor, it's crazy. Yeah, but he's tough.
Yes,
He's tough.
he is tough. He
He's
is
a
tough.
tough
He
dude,
really is.
man. Yeah, man, I love him. And I have to say, my favorite Nick, man. I hope Quentin Grimes. That's my favorite.
Quentin's quiet, but he's shrewd
I,
and he gets the job
I,
done.
lo- I love his game, man. His game. I think that he's in his second year. Remember, quickly went through a thing last year too. His
Yeah,
second year. It was a
yeah,
little up and down.
sure.
But so I'm hoping that the same thing happens with Quentin. It's like,
Right.
okay, he's in that second year slump kind of thing, sophomore jinx, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, sure.
And hopefully next year he breaks out, man. I don't. Hey, it's a stretch to call him next Clay, but he has that. I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised if
yeah,
he
because he
starts to
doesn't
touch
over
on that.
dribble. He doesn't over dribble.
No,
He gets his feet set. It's
right,
money.
man. He can,
It's money.
man. And I love to see him drive, but he won't.
Yeah.
So I said that's probably him saying, should I? Should I? It's
Right.
it's Jalen's team. It's
It is.
Julius' team. I feel like that's going on. But man, if he could just get his confidence right, man. I like what I see out of Quentin, man. So going all the way back to Julius, we might need his toughness,
Yeah.
especially with with,
He's a good
with him.
rebounder.
Yeah, we might need that for this series.
But
You know,
I would like to see him not apply the baseball skills to his game. Have you ever seen the brother pass the ball? He throws some of the he throws some of the fastest passes I've ever seen in my life. I would hate to play on that team. If I ever got hit with his ball, I would die.
and it
It's
was
like,
he 250 pounds.
and then he does this jump pass that is just
Yeah,
it's like, okay, what am I gonna do? Okay, I'm gonna throw the ball as fast as I can to the next cat that's got the uniform like me and hope he catches it. yo, he's gonna kill somebody in the audience one
He,
day.
he, and his legs go out like this. You know, I'm like, yo, Jules, what's going on, man?
Man, he's gonna knock someone's teeth out.
Yeah,
Someone's gonna be
yeah.
drinking some beer or something, and that ball's gonna be like plunk over.
So I had to reiterate. So, audience, if you ever see, as you see, we are not like aficionados. We just fans. We play music, man. You know, but these are the just layman like observations, man.
Come
It's
on,
like,
man.
dang, come on, man, come
We
on
just call
now.
it as we see it.
Yeah, jeez,
I
man.
gotta tell you a story when cable came to the neighborhood in Cortland Manor
Oh man, yeah.
for free. We didn't tell
Okay.
nobody. We didn't tell nobody.
I, yeah, how many years did that go on?
About 5.
Oh, see,
But check it out.
see,
We had
maybe you
the
should.
Knicks. I had gotten all the Knicks and Nets home games,
Mm,
and this is the last 3 years when Jay was playing. Dr. J.
Doc.
Oh,
Oh, that far back.
dude,
Oh.
I couldn't get home from school fast enough. This cat had, and we had a black and white TV, but that ball was still, it just had
Oh yeah.
his afro block back.
Yeah,
He had
yeah,
his
yeah.
Converse sneakers.
Oh
He
yeah.
had
Yeah.
his kneecap braces. And
Oh
I
yeah.
saw the last dunk of the ABA when he took it from
Wow.
foul. They don't have a film of that anywhere. There's no film.
Wow,
But that
man.
last dunk, man, was one of the sweetest dunks I had ever
Like he
seen.
knew it was the last one.
That
like,
was it. That was it. They had
like
already
he
won by
knew it was.
20, so it was just like icing on the cake. It was that's how
Yeah.
we closed down it. Dr. J.
Wow.
I used to love him.
Wow.
I was crushed when he didn't make it to the Knicks. I would have loved
Um,
it. Imagine him on the Knicks.
man. Oh, that's one of the another one of the tragedies.
Yeah.
It's funny, man, because we were talking about Will Downing, right?
Downing.
Possibly,
Shout out to Will, brother.
shout out to Will Downing,
Dynamite.
good friend, Mr. Dynamite. We were talking about him coming on. He said Will is a Net fan. I said,
Yeah,
what? A Net fan, but it makes sense because he's from Brooklyn and they're in
of
Brooklyn now.
course.
What? And okay, and
Then he moved to Jersey.
maybe he moved to Jersey. That's
Uh-huh.
what it
It
was.
was right down the
Because I
street
was like,
from
well, wait.
Script.
Yeah, because we did a session once in the city during the playoffs. This is years ago. Man, well, we came
Playoffs.
out of the session. Yeah, playoffs, yeah. And he said, man, I'm gonna head on down to the garden. I said, what, you going by yourself? He said, I got one ticket. He was going to the garden to see the playoffs,
What?
to see the Knicks. So I always thought that Will was a Knick fan. And it wasn't until you just reminded me he's a Net fan.
Yeah, that's right. That's
I said, oh man, so maybe we ought to have him with artists who love the Knicks or not. Maybe we ought to do that. Maybe we ought to have him on one
okay.
day and just
Okay.
chop
We
it in
can do
one day,
that. We'll have to call him up one
something
day.
like that. Yeah, call him
We'll
up
make that
and
happen, man.
dial him in. But yeah, there's some other ones that I was thinking of. But yeah, I don't know. I like the Knicks' chances. I do.
Mm-hmm.
There's a calmness with the Knicks that is like, mind you, as I'm watching them going crazy, I'm talking about
Of
calmness.
course. Of course.
Right, but I put it this,
It,
you know what? Oh, I'm
no,
sorry.
go ahead.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks go on the same kind of run as Atlanta did a couple years ago.
Sure.
Remember when they wound up in the finals?
Sure.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised, man, because I know they're going to show up. They're going to show up. They're going
Absolutely.
to lay down for these cats at all. And you
I
just watch
think
something
Boston is
emerge.
kind of tough right now, though.
Ooh,
Jalen
yeah,
and
that's tough. Yeah.
Jalen and Jason. That's a tough crowd right there, man.
Wow, those guys, man, they just seem to get better and better.
I love the coolness of Jason. He's
Yeah.
just
Mm-hmm.
total. He's like a modern day. I don't know. I don't know. He's so cool. His exterior is very shrewd,
Mm-hmm.
very strategic, and the young brother,
Yeah.
man, I love the way he
Oh
handles
yeah. And Jalen Brown.
it.
And he's from Marietta. He's from Marietta.
Yes, he is from Georgia. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard Shannon Sharp talking about where he was. I knew he was from Georgia. I didn't know what
Skip,
part.
skip,
But
skip. Hey, skip. Go ahead.
I'm talking about that's my man. I love Shannon. Man, he said something the other day. We're talking about Madison Square Garden. I agree with Shannon Sharp 99.9% of the time.
What he
When
said.
he said something, he was talking, oh, Michael Rappaport, had called it talking about artists, right? Loving the
Yeah,
game, right? Michael Rappaport comes in and winds them all up, right?
that's right.
So he got, so he was talking and Shannon, I could tell Shannon was kind of bristling. And I don't know, what's something to do with Madison. It was Madison Square Garden is the Mecca, right?
Right.
It's the
Yeah,
Mecca.
it is.
And Shannon said, it's only the Mecca because of other things, not basketball, like
What?
the circus and stuff.
Oh,
Exactly.
he said the circus. Damn.
He didn't say the circus, but he said other events like concerts and all. Like I was like, what? I said, this is one time, Shannon. You ain't never been so wrong in your life. Basketball was it was okay. It was created.
Have you not been to Rucker Park? I mean, come on.
In this is the city game.
Come on,
You
man.
know, yeah, Madison Square Garden is where the game was showcased. It's where the
Basketball
NBA
got
was
the prime down
showcased.
in New York. New York. Are you kidding me?
Exactly, man.
Come on,
And
man.
it's
That
like
rap, that
it was
rap.
yeah, right. But it was built through the college game because
Yeah,
New York City, was St. John's, it was
yeah.
NYU, and was
Right.
CCNY.
Yes,
That
CC.
Fordham, all of those, and then the NIT, because the
Yeah,
NIT was bigger than the
that
NC2A at
sure
that
was.
time. And
Sure
it was
was.
all out of Madison Square Garden, and the NBA grew up out of that.
Come on,
And
man.
I'm saying, wait, Shannon, you're a historian. You're supposed to know that.
You're supposed to
That
know
is
better.
about, what it's like everybody wants to trash the Knicks, because they haven't been good. But still, when everybody comes to New York, they want to go off. When they ask Michael Jordan, right? You come to the Mecca to go
Yeah.
off,
Do you
double
remember?
nickel and
Do you
all that.
remember when Jordan came back from retirement? Did you watch that game?
That's double nickel.
Bro, I was at the LaGuardia Airport.
I was in the airport. Well, we were in airport. We were at the airport together.
Oh, did we come back like from a gig or something?
Yes. Yeah.
And they turned the screen, they turned the turntile, whatever the carriage screen into the game.
Yep. Yep.
And then he just knocked 55 and then he passed off the last shot
It was like,
to
oh,
Winnington.
it was crazy. I mean, you remember the details. I just remember going nuts. Yeah. Oh yeah. So, it's all Madison Square Garden. I mean,
Yeah,
so
man.
how could he say that this is not the Mecca of it,
Come on.
regardless of how poorly the Knicks were doing for all those years, but the game was really showcased in Madison Square Garden. So as a
John
matter of fact,
Starks.
oh yeah, man.
He was he
Yeah.
he made it famous, just one dunk.
Oh my God, man. But it's crazy, man. See, you're so young. The first time I went to see the Knicks, my sister brought me down there, and I was probably about in the fourth or fifth grade.
Hmm.
And it was on 59th Street at that time,
Okay.
right? The new garden had been built. And we got in there, and of course, going through it had the old-fashioned turnstiles, like going to a movie theater.
Wow.
And I remember we looked over, and Walt Bellamy was walking in.
Wow. Bellamy. Nice.
Walt Bellamy, right? Because the Knicks had Twin Towers at that time. They had
Who's the
Bellamy
other?
and Willis Reed.
Ooh.
Willis Reed
Yes, yes, yes.
at that time.
Mhm.
And he was coming through a turn. He looked like he was late.
Hmm.
Looked like he was late. Man, me and my sister looked at this guy, man. It looked like this huge, like a Christmas tree, man. It was like just because he had a small head, it was a cane. It was unbelievable, man, to see him that close because he was 6'11", 7 feet.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm like 4 or 5 at that time, just looking up. That was the first time really seeing a pro basketball player. And at that time, and I realized he was not late because at that time they had double headers.
Oh, that's right.
They had double headers. And
Wow.
it was still building the league. You know what I mean? They're still
Was that
building it.
was
So
that
again, going back to Shannon, I was like, what are
60,
you talking about?
67? What year was that?
No, 66,
Okay.
66, 67. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That's right. Because, I think he was traded in 67 with Howard Comize, and they brought in David Busher. and
Yes.
that turned the whole Knick history around.
Yeah, man.
Right there. Yep.
That
Yeah.
was a great team.
So when Shannon said the Mecca, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
They just got basketball in Atlanta, just a little while ago, and it feels like 3 days ago, in Houston, everyone, they just got the New York has been here from the day one. This is a flagship, or the flagship team, along with the Celtics. So anyway, I just had to mention that about
No, no,
Shannon.
no.
He's my man, but I said,
You
man,
gotta
no,
take the
no, no,
record straight for
you
that brother, man.
no, no, no. We have to sit down about
You have
that
to
one.
school him.
Yeah, because he a young boy. He's only about. I
Yeah,
heard he's
that's
only
right.
52. He's
That's
only
right.
52.
That's
So,
right.
but
That's
anyway,
right.
back to the current
That's
Knicks.
cool, man.
So what do you think of
Well,
Tibbs?
brother.
Before we leave,
Well,
what do you think of Tibbs?
I've got a better reading of Tibbs now. I think he's when he first came in, through Chicago and Minnesota, I found him to be a little stiff in terms of how he handled the players.
Okay.
He had his way of doing it and trying to fit everybody into his methodology rather than
Mm-hmm.
taking what he's got and working with the team, like which I thought Phil Jackson was great at. We got to talk about him
Mm-hmm.
before we go. It's a $60 million payoff. We got to talk about that, brother.
Oh
But
boy.
Tibbs, um, this year, I think more than any year, I've seen him adjust in game. I've seen him adjust game to game. I've seen him really embrace the team he has. And I think this is a really nice team for him. And
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't trade out for what do you call it, Mitchell.
Oh yeah, for Donovan. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that was key too. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
Tom has done a great job coaching this year. He's
Yeah.
a lot more flexible. And he's listening. He's paying attention, man. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I for him, I hope he goes to the court to the finals, man, to the at least the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Yep.
I think he's done a great job, man. I've never been a Tibbs hater, even though I understood his rigidity. I got that,
Right.
but I never thought he had the players here in New York,
Yeah.
right? And now once he got the players, and you see the connection that he has with Jalen.
Oh yeah.
That long. I mean, since a little boy, I think
Sure.
I did you see the piece where he saw Jalen before his father did.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah, because Rick Brunson was playing in Australia. Yeah, when he was born. So yeah, such a close family connection between Tibbs and the Brunsons. That Jalen's going to give it everything he has and all that. And
I
you
think
know,
Brunson and Hart for the next 5 years, 6 years, man, they could really build something sweet in
oh
New York.
man, I
They're one
I think
player
so
away
too.
from like really like taking them down.
Yeah.
Had Durant had come to New York,
Oh,
hands down, it's been over. It's
oh,
over.
oh man, talking about that. He should have come to the Knicks.
Yes.
That's a whole man. I was like, what? Because you know what they say: if you win one chip in New York, it's equivalent to three.
Yes. It's like exactly, exactly, exactly.
And if
And
Durant could
he
have
could have
brought him,
validated himself. He could have
man,
validated himself way past what was going on with Golden State.
exactly. What everybody's talking about, he's chasing this and chasing that and bashing them here. Man, you could have wiped all that out if you came here
Yeah.
and brought a championship to the New York Knicks, man.
Yeah.
That's I was like, man, and then with Kyrie and
He missed.
everything, I'm like, yeah, I think so, man.
Don't even talk about Kyrie. Kyrie's a hot mess. I love him. Great player. Sometimes he over
Yeah,
intellectualizes himself right out of the gate.
and yeah, I know he's that cat. Him, him smart, So yeah, man. But that was what was there was one other thing I wanted to ask you about before we wrap it up, man. Mm, mm. Yeah, it was Tibbs, but I guess we just have to wait for the swooping and hooping tomorrow.
Hey man, let's keep the
Swishing
ball
and dishing.
bouncing until they get bounced out of here. We know we got at least
Yeah.
4 games,
Yeah, we're gonna get full. Hey man, can you imagine being in the garden tomorrow?
dude. Now that's the ticket you want to have for New York, brother.
Oh, that's a ticket.
That's
That's a ticket.
because the last two home games were just off the chain,
Off
bro.
the charts, man. That I wish I could afford to bring Shannon here to sit him in the front row with Spike tomorrow. Let's see where the Mecca is then. You know,
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
know, you know.
No, the Mecca's gonna be on fire tomorrow, man.
It's gonna be crazy, man. You know,
I
we're
hope
talking
they
about that
win.
too. About
Huh?
yeah, man. You know, with the garden, man, it's on the fifth floor. Maybe that's one of the reasons why it's like an echo chamber in there, man, or something. It's on springs, and you know, it's crazy in there with the trains going up underneath, man. It's just different than all other arenas. You know what I've been doing, man. I've been working with Hall and Oates, man. And we've played in all of the
Arenas,
big
right?
arenas,
Mm-hmm.
all of them.
Have you done the
And
Garden?
I tell you, bro, yes, I've done the garden with them 3 times, and I did it once with Michael Bolton. So I've been in there. It's different.
Yeah.
The garden is different than all other arenas, and we played in the crib. We did 2 nights at the crib, you know, in LA.
Sure, sure.
2 nights, back to back. It was unbelievable, but it still ain't Madison Square Garden. It's not. And I mean, I'll tell you what's got a great vibe. And they got on pretty bad, but Cleveland, that arena,
Cleveland's
that
got a
arena's
thing,
got
man.
that's got a nice man. That's an exciting place, man.
Sure,
You know, and
it is.
I saw it when LeBron was in there, man. John Oates brought me to a game, man, and you know, courtside,
Hey, man.
sitting right next to LeBron and them, man. And it was, I never, but man, the energy in that place was unbelievable, man. The only thing
LeBron's
that could top it
presence.
was
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
just crazy, just crazy.
The only
Only
thing
thing,
you combine LeBron's popularity with Dan Gilbert's money, they rebuilt downtown Cleveland, and
oh, yeah.
then
Hmm.
with the money that Gilbert made from the Cavaliers, along with Quicken, of course, he
Hmm.
rebuilt downtown Detroit.
Oh, that's right, because he's a Detroit guy, right?
That's right. He rebuilt Detroit downtown.
Wow,
He put
man.
a lot of money in downtown. He revitalized Detroit. But hey, man,
That's
LeBron
on
put the money in his pocket.
that's on LeBron.
Let's keep it real.
That's on LeBron money.
Oh yeah, man, for sure.
Yeah, that's how powerful these dudes are, man.
Absolutely,
They
absolutely.
generate. You know, I get so upset when I hear people say, "Oh, they're making all this money." I'm saying, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! You know how much money they generate? They just getting a fraction of what they generate. So
Yes,
don't hate. It's like if you look, we spent time in sales, right? And you're supposed to get X amount of your commissions, right, are based on
yeah,
what you
little
bring
10,
in, right?
20% or whatever.
So if you think about the sneakers, all the merch that these guys are responsible for, man, Michael Jordan is underpaid. You know, these
Oh,
guys
absolutely,
underpaid when
absolutely,
you think about what they generate. You know, so
absolutely.
you know, and we know about that from being artists. You know, we talk about 2 sets of
Ooh.
books in the music business. You generating all kinds of revenue, but you're not allowed to share in it.
And
You
the only
know,
money
it's
that you're allowed to make is the money you make on the road.
on the road, put
So
you out on the
all the
road. It's
money
like,
you're making,
yeah.
from the checks.
Yeah, but your records are playing all over the world every day, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times a day. Everybody else gets to enjoy and make money off of you. But
Yeah,
then when you go to ask for yours, you're in trouble. It's like, oh, you got a big head. Well, and so I'm so glad that these young guys now, and I hear that Isaiah Thomas had a lot to do with these guys making the kind of money that they're making now. And that's a whole nother story. But I'm glad these guys are sharing and you know, in the wealth that they generate,
sure, sure.
you know,
I mean,
and
you have your occasional cats
that's all.
that made the money and lost it, like like Sean Kemp and
Yeah, don't just yeah,
Allen
those things happen.
Iverson,
Yeah,
but yeah, by and large, I think the cats are starting to, get it.
yeah, yeah. They
Stashing
get
it
it.
away. They're not blowing it on a
Hmm.
bunch of foolishness.
Right, right. And
Foolishness.
trust me, they wouldn't pay you all that money if they couldn't afford to pay you all that money.
Yeah, yeah,
They're not going. Those owners aren't going to break themselves. They're
exactly,
not going to do it.
exactly,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
They're just these players are just the cost of doing business.
That's right. That's right.
That's it, man. Although, you know, for a layman like me, you know, I see $200 million. I'm like, oh my God. But I'm like, wait a minute, if they paid him $200 million, what is the owner
Hey,
making?
hello.
Yeah, yeah. So, You know, just
5 to
had to
10
put
times
that in
more
there.
than that, man.
Exactly. Yeah, man. So
Uh,
it's crazy.
or
But
even
yeah, man, I
Nike,
gotta
the
get.
money they give away.
Do you see Durant just got a lifetime deal?
Oh, nice.
He's one of three.
Wow.
And
Who's the other two?
he just signed it yesterday. Well, Jordan got one, and
Of course, right.
I don't know. Maybe Tiger. Maybe Tiger.
Tiger. Yes. Yeah.
Maybe Tiger. Yeah, I think.
Shoot,
Yeah.
LeBron James' son is making like 10 million off of some endorsement. And he's
Oh, it's crazy, man. He's in commercials now. He's in commercials, man. There's a new one of these the Fast and Furious franchise movies. He's in one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
Yeah. I'm like, hey man,
Man, I ain't mad at him.
I ain't mad at him either, man. How long, artists and athletes been, getting ripped off, man. So now, no, they deserve it. They deserve it, man, because they generate the money.
That's right, man.
They're not going to give it to you unless you're generating it.
That's right. That's right. And if they don't give it to you, they'll find the next person to give it to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, man.
Nothing but a turnstile.
So,
A bunch of horses.
Exactly. Right. So yeah, man, I got to
leg
get me a
breaks,
Knick
we'll
hat,
get the
man.
next one. What you say?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. I got to get me a Knick hat now, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I got this at the Garden about 8 years ago. Maybe longer.
Wow.
Remember I was telling you when Jeremy Lin Sanity
Oh yeah. Yeah, man.
I went to Knicks in Houston. Knicks were down by like 30, third quarter.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, coming in for the game, Jeremy Lin." And nobody knew who he was. And the cat popped off with 27 that night. They were going nuts.
Wow, man.
That was the beginning with Lin Sanity, bro.
That was it.
Everybody got jealous and shipped him out. He ain't been the same since he left New York.
Nah, never the same.
That was a nice little run.
It was a fun run. That was a lot of fun. I like Jeremy, man. That was tough, but the way that panned out. But yeah, Mr. Harvard guy. I'm sure he's all right though.
We gotta talk about Phil Jackson, man.
Oh yeah, wait.
Let's talk about trade secrets. Okay.
What happened?
So you the president of the Knicks.
Yeah.
But you dating the owner of the Lakers.
Yeah. Well, he was the coach of the Lakers and dating the head of the Lakers.
Yeah, true, but that's one organization that that's one thing. But you go to the Knicks, what were they talking about? Why did LeBron not even think about coming to New York? All of a sudden he pops up in LA, they win the chip. Come on, man.
Wait. I heard the presentation that was made to LeBron in New York was really subpar.
I heard it's horrible, right?
Yeah.
Unimpressive.
Now I'm a big LeBron fan, but the only time I didn't agree with him was when he went to Greenwich to tell everybody he was going to go to Miami. Like, wait, LeBron. Greenwich is
I'm
backyard,
taking my talents to South Beach.
South Beach, man. You gonna go to Greenwich? Man, you tell people stay in Cleveland and tell them that you're going to South Beach. Don't come into our backyard and tell them you're going somewhere else. That's when I said, whoa.
Yeah. What was that all about?
No, man. Other than that, I'm good with LeBron.
I bet you ain't been that.
Even, I said, oh, he's coming to Greenwich. He's gonna buy a house. Everybody used to live in Greenwich. All the big stars, right? Everybody had in Greenwich for purchase. That's where they go to live. Or Scarsdale.
That's right.
I said, oh, Bron's gonna come here. He's looking at a house in Greenwich. He's gonna tell him we come to the Knicks. He's come to the Knicks, man. And then said, I'm gonna take my talent to Miami. I said, who gave you that advice? But anyway. Yeah.
Pat was behind it.
Yeah, probably did.
He over there snickering. He's like,
let me stick it to him one more time. That's cool, man.
Was it 1995 after they lost to Houston?
When he sent the fax?
He just walks into He just walks under the tunnel for the last time. An hour later, he pops the fax. But you gotta admit, Miami offered him $40 million over 5 years to coach, plus ownership of the team.
Ownership. Mm-hmm.
Plus, I think I saw somebody got like free meals and free ground transportation I mean,
Yeah, and
how
some,
do you say no?
interest-free loans, all
Yeah,
that kind of
right,
stuff.
right, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
How do you say
It
no
was
to
a
that?
lot of stuff. Yeah, you can't say no. I was just mad that he got it. A facts. I want him to say I'm a big Pat Riley fan too, but it's like, man, you can't like that. But there's a great article. I don't know, Harvey Arbus. What's Harvey's name? He's a great writer. Um, Harvey Arrington.
Mm,
Harvey Arrington.
mhm.
Is to write. He's written for all the big papers in this city. Back at that time, he wrote a great article saying how, at the time, the Madison Square Garden and the Knicks and Rangers, all that was being sold,
Yep.
and Checkers was kind of in the middle of all of that.
Sure.
So Riley was like, "Hey, man, let me do the president of the Knicks thing,
Yep.
and in the meantime, it'd be nice if we could get Mitch Richmond in here."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? I can remember Mitch Richmond was a killer, man, a
Killer.
great two guard.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, I would have, So, to kind of broker all that as Madison Square Garden was being sold, and Checkers was sort of, hey, man, that's a big deal.
Sure.
Riley was like, let me take this. And somehow that deal fell through.
Mhm.
And Riley was like, okay, I'm gonna take this
Wow.
deal in Miami.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to find that article. It was a great article, man.
Great article.
Huge.
Look that up.
Yeah, man. It was great, man. So
But
anyway,
Knicks I mean, they were a corporation. They would have had an issue with they had to get clearance from the stockholders and all that. So
right. It's
and
a lot.
Miami was owned by one cat. So he was like
Oh yeah.
he just
Yeah.
opened up the floodgates, man.
Right. Yeah. You would have done it. I'd have done it too. Get him down there.
Been
You
there in a
know.
minute. South Beach too.
Yeah, man.
Please.
Come on, man. I mean, look at Pat. He won chips in L.A.,
Yeah.
almost wins a chip in New York, and then finishes out in Miami. I mean, damn, who's
Sweet
got
career.
it better than him?
He's got
Unbelievable,
sweet.
man.
He's got
He's,
one of the best careers out, man.
yeah, and was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow. Now that I didn't know. Look at that.
That's great. He was a great football player.
That's good stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
now when you
man.
going back
So
on the road with the Hall Notes?
we're not doing Hall and Oates this year. I'm doing just Darryl Hall.
Okay.
We did that all last year. We did it was Darryl Hall along with Todd Rundgren. They're very good friends. Matter of fact, I think Todd Rundgren has produced them, and they're all from Philly. So we've been doing that as a combination. One band playing with it's the Hall and Oates band playing behind Todd Rundgren and Darryl Hall's solo show. We're doing that.
Love
We're going to
Me is one
start
of my
that.
favorites.
Oh man, great song, man. Got to get you a woman, and yeah, it's Todd Rundgren, great, and nice guy too, really nice guy. Everybody gets along. It's a great tour. Um, and we're gonna go to London to open for Billy Joel
Really?
this year. Yeah, in Hyde Park in July. Just going over just to do, I think, 2 gigs over there and coming back.
Outdoor?
So outdoor Hyde Park. Yeah, I think it was like 65,000 people or something like that. And so yeah, doing, man, I've been in that band, man. I've been in the whole Loose band now for this is my 12th year.
Wow. Now I
12th
remember
year.
when you played with me, we
Mm-hmm.
were playing up in Connecticut,
Mm-hmm.
and you had this stupid, crazy solo. And like right after the gig, and he's like, "Yeah, man, it's my last gig, man. I'm quitting and retiring." What the hell's wrong with you? I don't care. No more
Oh,
drums, man. I'm done with the drums.
oh no, I was done with drums, man. That was it. That was it. That was it, man. I just
And you bounced. I was like, let me see how long it's gonna last, man.
yeah, I was
You held
bounced,
up
man.
for about 15 years.
Yeah, but I don't play drums with Hall Notes.
I know you play percussion, and I know you
Just
ain't carrying
percussion.
them.
Nope.
You ain't
Nope.
you ain't even lifting the.
No. Thank God those guys treat me great, man. It's like no, if playing percussion I was like, what is that? You know what I mean? I didn't know what to do with that. But Daryl was like, man, you could do this, But mainly to me, it's a
You
singing gig.
translated very nicely, man. It was nice.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I really appreciate it, man. Just trying to keep up with all my friends like you. You know, all out there making records, man. You and Reagan and all of them, they all, you guys, Dennis, you guys are on the charts and getting NAACP awards, and you know, I'm like, what is this? Image Awards? It's great, man. Guys are always topping the charts, man, and the smooth jazz charts, man, with all the greats. I'm super proud, man. You guys are like my kids. You know?
Hey, man,
Yeah,
you tell us a lot, Big Papa.
man. Yeah, right. You know, no, I'm just glad to be associated, man. And we have, you know, I was talking to a relative just before you and I got on, and he said, man, you guys he went to see AWB last night.
Oh,
Yeah,
Freddie.
so I was right there. No, it was, well, my cousin just went to see him. He didn't realize that I knew all the guys, you know, Fred Door
Right.
and I was talking, yeah, and then oh gosh, and Rocky, you know, and all the
Oh, Rocky's
guys,
still playing in the
man.
band? Rocky Bryant?
Yeah, Rocky's still willing. Yeah, like so.
Nice.
Rob Aries is in the band.
Yeah, he's killing. I love Rob.
Yeah, Cliff Lyons is in the band,
Wow.
and Brent Carter. You know, these are all the guys. He said, "Man, you guys got a network." I said, "Yeah, it's all, you know, everybody's really close. You know, New York, Connecticut, Jersey guys.
That's great, man.
You know, it's been great. You know, we've all been very fortunate. You
Thank
know,
you.
these
Still here,
plays all
brother.
over the world. Knock on wood, man.
Yeah.
But I tell everybody, it's like, hey, man, yeah, music is cool, but what happens is the Knicks.
That's right. That's right. Look at that you made. Artists of the Knicks, yo. What's up?
Artists who love the Knicks. That's us,
That's it, man. That's it. That's it.
Cool.
Well, cool, man. Well, we gotta get Will Downing on one of these and some other cats, man, and talk about some more music and some more Knicks.
Yeah,
NBA.
we'll figure this out.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir, brother.
Yeah,
All
man.
right, man.
Cool. CV.
See you, brother. Love you, man.
Peace. Love you.
All right.